Hi, I'm Jake, and this is my proposal for Whatcom Creek Exploratory High. So the site's on a vacant lot that's actually occupied by 3 different plots. I want to go ahead and consolidate those. They're all owned by the same LLP. You can see the total lot size would be 82,650 square feet. Max allowable height would be 40 and 4 stories. So these are some of the driving forces behind my concept. You can see up top, innovative, sustainable, and community-driven education where students explore, thrive, and create. It's going to be a grade 9 through 12 public high school with a focus on career and technical education, as well as environmental science and the design and art fields as well. It's going to be project-based learning, a lot of hands-on, incorporating real-world challenges and critical thinking. And the building form definitely takes inspiration from the creek in the area, and along with that comes a commitment to sustainability through those passive designs and active systems. So rather than grouping classrooms by age or grade, I wanted to group them by function. And this is going to kind of allow for a little bit more interdisciplinary learning as well as peer mentorship between the older and younger students. The louder, more public-oriented spaces are going to be pushed out towards the street, keeping everything quiet, while the classrooms are towards the back of the lot and on the upper levels to give that nice, serene classroom environment with great views. Here, I just wanted to give a little context. You can see the urban scale on the top left, land use, where our site is surrounded by kind of this urban village with a little residential to the north and west, and then the transit map on the bottom right there. To highlight the community a little bit more, Bellingham's a mid-sized city in the Pacific Northwest, known for natural beauty and strong environmental values, really high value on sustainability, and has ambitious climate goals. The Lettered Streets neighborhood, which is where the site's located, is one of Bellingham's oldest residential areas, with a mix of historic homes, small businesses, and community spaces. It's extremely walkable, which is great for a school, but the housing prices in Bellingham have seen quite the skyrocket. So one thing I did want to focus on was equitable access to this education, which is why I wanted to do a public school. So here's some data on the climate in Bellingham. I want to point out we're in a moderately high seismic zone here. And then just some of the design strategies I wanted to highlight as well. We're not going to need shading because passive gain is going to be a benefit for us, and we don't really have to worry about overheating. Our thick wooden floors and walls are going to provide that good thermal mass in addition to the traditional insulation. And then the sloped roofs are going to shed that rain and snow so that we can capture it well. So getting into the site context here, we've got our main crossroads of West Holly and C Street. We do have a wooded bike path that goes around the backside of the lot there. And then we've got downtown Bellingham off to the east and more residential to the northwest. So here we have the level 1 plan. You can see the bus lane comes and drops you off right at the front entry. That's going to be the main entrance for all the students. The parking lot, more so for staff, and you can see the staff entrance over on that side. Classrooms along the back, and we'll discuss more. Showcasing the pedagogy here, you can see all of the learning units on that back side, whereas more of the specialty ones can kind of be shifted a little. We've got nice collective space that circles the middle portion, allowing for kind of a nice loop of circulation. And then go to level 2. And then here in level 2, you can see the stack design for the classrooms, although they do vary. I forgot to mention there's 2 different classroom types up here. They vary a little bit more. On the bottom, they're more basic CTE classrooms, but we've got the nutrition room for the horticulture kind of class, science units up here, a business class, and then some design units as well. And then again, just highlighting the pedagogy and kind of separation of departments. Here we have the roof plan. You can see sloped roof like I discussed. So here are our sections. First one kind of highlighting that riverbank. We got blue as the interior, and then the second one coming from the street more so. Here you can see the elevations from those same angles, and we're right at that 40-foot height limit. Showcasing the circulation, you can see we've got a loop path, and then it's got stairwells on either end, and the back stairwell's got an elevator back there as well, and then the exiting diagrams on the bottom. So I have a type 4 heavy timber construction type. consisting of 14 by 14 inch mass timber columns, 10.5 inch wide glulam beams, and they're sitting on isolated concrete footings. The ground level slab is a 10-inch concrete slab on grade for that nice thick insulation, and then the second story is a 12-inch thick CLT panel. The reasons why I did this were mainly for the sustainability and energy efficiency, seismic considerations like we discussed before, and then to support Washington's timber industry and sustainability goals. There's actually a lot of state incentives for that as well. Here's a structural grid. You can see it's made up of 3 kind of wings that follow that curve of the creek. You can see the shear walls pointed out in blue here as well. Here you can see the structural progression, how it would be built up. So I really wanted to get as much light in here as I could. So we've got these long windows across the back, and kind of just getting as much light as we can. A lot of clerestories. On the exterior, it's going to be the CLT panels. We got moisture barrier directly over that, and then the cork, air, and then the exterior sheath siding. So the HVAC system is made up of 4 different zones. We've got 3 on the bottom level and then 1 for that upper level. They're each their own air handler unit, and they're going to be controlled by VAVs. Here, just highlighting some of the passive systems. We've got our wind turbines on that eastern roof edge, solar panels on the southern, rainwater collection all throughout, just to make the most of those heavy rains. And then we've got our big thermal mass, and then permeable pavement all throughout the exterior. So the wind turbines are based off ASU. We can expect around 27 kilowatts total capacity out of those based on those stats. For average rainfall in Bellingham in our rain catchment area, we're expecting around 425,500 gallons of annual harvest. And then with the Tesla solar panels, we've got 243 of them. So after some math, we're expecting around 105,000 kilowatt hours annually. Here I wanted to highlight kind of the gardening program that would occur. Got the timeline laid out, and just some recommendations on crops and other stuff. I will say summer is the best crop season, so I do plan on having a kind of summer care program for the students that are interested in that. And then here's the auto and marine shop, which is kind of that heart of the CTE education. We've got tire changing equipment, bunch of workbenches, tool storage, and storage for students to store their coveralls and personal tools, as well as cleaning up. 2-post lift in the middle for auto. Here's the integration of the systems kind of in a classroom scale. You can see the lighting and the vents in the ceiling, as well as, like I mentioned before, we don't need any shading because we're going to enjoy that passive gain. And then kind of looking at more of the passive systems and then the envelope here. Got the laid out envelope on the top left showing the different layers, and then kind of just material board. So with sustainability kind of being at the heart of this project, I really wanted to make the most of it. Like thermal mass, like we've discussed a bunch, you can see the structure pointed out in purple there of the mass timber. Got our active system ducting in blue, and I really wanted that sunshine to be able to penetrate into the middle, so we've got the clerestory windows allowing that light to get all the way into that middle section of the school. And then we get into some just aerial views, kind of giving the context and showing what's up. Here we've got some exterior perspectives. Top left, kind of the front signage. Bottom left is going to be that more staff area. And then here are more community and gathering areas within the school. Got some examples of the hallway and what kind of walking around in the school might look like. So here's just highlighting some of the different classroom layouts. In the bottom left, you can see the media classroom has 2 rooms, one for shooting photography and then the other one for recording audio. The bottom right, horticulture and nutrition class, has a little kitchen area, as well as a storage closet for all of the gardening tools and utensils. And then design classrooms have bigger tables and workspaces, and science classrooms obviously have their necessary equipment.